I was going to give a TED talk. First of all, I was very excited, and then I sat down and thought and wondered, now what am I going to talk about? I did my research, and I discovered that people are talking about very diverse ideas. People are talking about things that have not happened yet. People are talking about nothing even. Someone was talking about nothing. So I wondered, why not talk about something that I love? I'm very passionate about food, but then someone had already talked about that. So I decided, let me talk about food. Why not talk about the avocado, perhaps? Yeah? Like the benefits of the avocado. How can you use the avocado? What if maybe the Gideri man had avocado that day during the elections? You know, a lot of things. And unfortunately, I'm not going to talk about the avocado. So, water covers approximately 70% of the Earth's crust. And if you were to mention water as a student in a school, he would be everywhere. Water covers 60% of the human body. And honestly speaking, that is also not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about thirst. Yeah, let's talk about thirst. My name is Openda. I go by the stage name Don the Black. I'm a performing artist. I wear many hats. I'm an actor, I'm an MC, I'm a radio personality, and I am very passionate about the arts. So who is an artist? An artist is a professional entertainer. And what does he do? His craft is called artistry. So let's talk about the thirst to perform. Growing up as an artist in Kenya is not quite easier. Yeah? So sometimes people confuse you as being slightly maladjusted. You don't want to concentrate in your studies, and you want to do other things apart from read, that is. So personally, I'm saying this because that is what I went through, and I want to ask you guys one question. Are you thirsty? What are you thirsty for? And what are you doing in order to quench your thirst? I'm very thirsty about getting to a very big stage. I'm very thirsty about getting sustainable value chains for the Kenyan artist. I'm thirsty about getting innovation in the entertainment sector that will change things. For example, you guys, we've had courtesy of wireless events KE, you guys had headphones, and for once, all of us are listening to the same thing, but you are in your own enclosed space. Yeah, I am very thirsty about things that will happen so that the GDP that comes from the entertainment sector in Kenya is way higher than what it is now. Like for example, I'll take an example of an ordinary Kenyan. You have a kid, he's small, and then you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say, someone says a lawyer, doctor, and then when they say an artist, people may laugh or they may look at you in a funny way. Especially, let's not talk about the people who are around the city center. Yeah, the people who are around urban areas, people who know about events, people who know about the arts. Let's talk about the people who have no idea of what an artist does. I'm afraid to say this, but at one point in time, I was in drama in my high school, and then the principal boldly came into a rehearsal space and told our teacher, wewe ndo unaharibu watoto kwa hii shule. It was a very bad thing because people felt, for once, you feel like you are belonging somewhere, but then when you are told that unaharibiwa, the teacher is spoiling you, how will you feel when you go out there and start practicing? Once again, I'm going to talk about thirst, and I'm going to talk about 5 random letters. Yeah, there is R, there is G, there is T, there is B, and there is L. So basically, I'm going to talk about growing out as an artist. When I start with the R, R means the root. Never forget where you came from. Yeah? Remember your root. For example, I was born 306 kilometers away from Nairobi in a small town called Nyabondo. And when I was born, I think my parent supposed I would be a lawyer or a doctor. But then we moved from that place to another place that was 361 kilometers away from Nairobi, a small town called Nyamira. Perhaps you guys may know Nyamira County, especially since we are coming from the election period. Yeah. So growing up in Nyamira County was fun, but then my thirst grew. And then it got worse. Check, my thirst grew. And then it got worse when I got devastation. Yeah? When I was 6 years old, my father passed away. And then I was left with my mom and 2 siblings. So growing up was quite a challenge. You don't have a father figure. You don't quite know yourself. But to cut the long story short, here I am, 25 years later in the city of Nairobi, a performing artist who has done who has featured in more than 7 Kenyan TV shows. A shout out to my colleague over there, and I'm very happy to see Ian Bugwa in the house. A shout out to you. So that was about the art. What do you know about your roots? Do you know where you come from? What are you doing about your past? Let's go on to the G. The G is the ground. Yeah, the ground. What do you do each and every day to make yourself a better person? What do you do each and every day in order to cement whatever you want to be, maybe for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? Yeah? What do I do as an artist? I go to auditions, I listen to my director, I get my lines, and when when the director says action, I do whatever action I have to do in order to impress. Yeah? So that is what I do when it comes to the G. We move on to the next letter. How many of us remember the next letter? T. The letter T. My symbolism comes from the event poster. When you saw the event poster, the theme was growing out, and then you saw a tree that sort of was coming from a volcano. Yeah? So when you look at that photo, if you have it on your WhatsApp, you can check it out. I started with the roots, and then I moved on to the ground. Now we're moving on to the trunk. The trunk is the basis of everything that you're creating. Now, at one point in time, I was just dumb. I did not have a brand. I did not do anything. I was just a particular student, a 4-4 student in a village school called Nyambaya High School. Each and every day went by, I started forming my trunk as an artist. I formed my trunk as an artist. In what way? You go, you ask, I want to do this and this and this. So how do I do this? So I want to ask each and every one of you guys who are here, what are you doing to cement your trunk? So that when someone looks at your track record, you can tell them that this is what I have done so far, this is what I intend to do, and this speaks for itself. For example, when you look at a tree and it has a very huge trunk, what does it tell you about the tree? It is an old tree. Yeah, it is an old tree. So as an individual, as an artist, as I'm growing out as an artist, what do I do in order to cement my trunk and make it bigger and bigger and more beautiful? Because frankly, if you see a tree trunk that has like a radius of like 5 meters or something, that's magnificent. It looks so good. So let's move on to the next letter. What was the next letter? I believe people are attentive by now. The B. B refers to the branches of the tree. What do I mean when I talk about the branches? Diversification. In Kenya, let me tone it down to Kenya. You cannot make it by doing just one craft. I'm sorry, I stand corrected, but you cannot make it as an artist by doing just one craft. Luckily, I have Ian Bugwa to attest to that. You have to diversify. You have to make it, you have to go to an extra mile. Yeah? If you know you can do one thing, you have to do the next one and the next one and the next one as an artist. Now you as an individual, what can you do in order to make yourself a better brand? How do you diversify your services? How do you take yourself as a person who is multi-purpose? Yeah? Because sometimes your comfort zone may work now, but it may not work next week. Your comfort zone may work now. The thing that you're doing right now may work for you now, but it may not work maybe tomorrow. It needs for diversification, because even when you go for a job interview, now you've brought your papers, people will be like, now what else can you do? Diversification. Let's move on to the next letter. The next letter was L. L marks the leaves, marks the flowers, marks the fruits of talent and eventually growing out as an artist. After you've grown, after you put in all the work, after you've taken time, you know your roots, you've cemented your trunk, you've done each and everything on the ground, and then comes the fruit. The fruit is the most beautiful thing that you can ever have as an individual. Let's take an example. At one point in time, you used to go and knock doors in offices so that you get the jobs. But this time, you find those people are coming to you because they know who you are and they know your capabilities. Yeah, that is the best thing that can ever happen to you. So, I believe I'm almost done. But before I finish, I'd like to give you one word of advice. Never stop being thirsty. Thank you very much.